so thankful that I have this opportunity to speak with you on behalf of all of my Teal sisters here and those of you who aren't. I'm both honored and humbled to share my experiences with my stage 3C ovarian cancer journey, which began in 2015. This journey has followed me, my family, my friends, as I've moved from Michigan to Florida and finally back to St. Louis. I've been in treatment in all 3 states, and I take great comfort in being able to say that I am finally home, as I was born and raised in St. Louis. For most common sense people, moving from St. Louis to Florida is a no-brainer, right? But Florida to St. Louis? Are we crazy? The plain and simple answer is no. I frequently say to people that my husband Sean and our boys Cullen and Barrett have been on a 23-year sabbatical to figure life out. We live to the best of our abilities, raising our kids and traveling and enjoying traveling and changing and growing together. Our boys are now living on their own, living their lives and forging their own paths. Barrett is in Chicago and Cullen is in Europe. And for Sean and myself, home has always been where the heart is. Having said that, our hearts are always with our kids, right? But our hearts are also here with my siblings. And as we come back here, we take so much comfort in being back. So yes, moving from Florida to St. Louis was the right decision. Back to the past. While in Michigan in 2015, I remember wondering what my next chapter in life would be. Our kids were in college, and I was working as a substitute teacher. Sean was traveling for work a lot, and I remember praying one night asking God what his plan was for me. And I was soon to learn. My cancer diagnosis shook me to the core. My husband was out of town on business, and I hadn't made any friends yet in Michigan. We hadn't lived there very long. And while it scared the living daylights out of me, at the same time it would give me the chance to discover who I really was and who I would become. I would immediately be forced to come to terms with mortality, something I hadn't even thought about since my mom's passing in 2013. The day I received the dreaded cancer news, Sean rushed home and we were hugging and crying and hugging. And I remember we called Barrett and Cullen on the phone to share the news. And literally I sat down on the couch and I curled into a ball. Sean was in the kitchen and I sat up and I distinctly remember a hand reaching out to me and I literally put my hand out. I knew my mom, who had been gone for 2 years, was there with me. She was holding my hand just as she'd done all those years. At the doctor's office getting shots, when I was having my kids, she had been there. And she was there then, even though she'd been gone for 2 years. Looking back, I've experienced many, many miracles like that. I've been living with ovarian cancer since 2015. And to be alive after 8.5 years with ovarian cancer, with 3 surgeries to remove tumors from my 3 reoccurrences, and all the grueling cycles of chemotherapy that provided me with remission, those are miracles. They definitely are miracles. I have multiple scars and battle wounds. I've walked and crawled and run into chemo, depending on the day, the round, the cycle, and the reoccurrence. I have rebounded slowly at times and quickly at other times. I've had long-lasting side effects and others that were just fleeting. Through it all, I've learned about responsibility, resilience, patience, and strength. And for me, letting go of the need to control things. I'm a type A personality. Allowing God and the doctors to take over and being patient have been the hardest things to deal with. Thank you, Dr. McCourt, wherever you are, for being my GYN. And I have to say, I told you I was type A. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, 2 of whom are with me tonight. And they mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. I am still, to this day, referred to as the boss lady. Affectionately, I hope. Yes. All survivors struggle with a myriad of issues. Depression and anxiety are a way of life for cancer survivors. So for me, I need to be involved in and a part of the solution. And in taking care of myself, I found that strength in helping others has helped me. I've advocated on the Hill in Washington, D.C. to raise awareness and help increase funding for ovarian cancer. I've mentored women from across the globe with a program called Women to Women. I've spoken with hundreds of medical students, nursing students, pharmacology students to educate them about ovarian cancer through the Survivors Teaching Students program. I've started support groups in Michigan and Florida for ovarian cancer survivors, and I've also started a Catholic support group in Michigan for all cancer survivors. In my journey, I have discovered that the only control I can have over my disease is how I react to it, how I can learn from it, and to teach about it. I have witnessed the highs of the survivors, like myself, who ring the bell at the completion of treatment. Unfortunately, as well as the lows of watching far too many of my sisters succumb to the disease. And as you can only imagine, it's been a roller coaster of physical and emotional and mental hurdles ever since. I have known my cancer for 8.5 years. But just as my relationship with my family and friends has changed over the years, so has my relationship with my cancer. It would be so nice to wish it farewell. But like a bad dad joke, it keeps coming back. And with that, I have to tell you my husband Sean's favorite dad joke. And it's bad. Last night, I had a dream. I was eating a giant marshmallow.
Oh my gosh.
And when I woke up, my pillow was gone. I couldn't help myself, sorry. Seriously though, each time my cancer returns, it comes at me like a shapeshifter. It comes back smarter, and it comes back stronger. And at my husband's weakest moments, he's asked me, he's asked God, he's asked my doctors, how much longer is her body going to tolerate this toxicity? I'm considered heavily pretreated now with chemotherapy. And with that comes the realization that some of the standard of care drugs can't be used on me any longer due to neuropathy or allergic reactions. And at what point will this cancer completely outsmart the treatment and stop responding? While chemotherapy for some people is a cure, for me, it gets me breathing time. And looking at me right now, you might think my cancer is silent. And seeing me for the first time, you may be even surprised to learn that I'm living with ovarian cancer. To others who are with me on my current journey, my friends, my family, you might think it whispers right now. You're watching me live with side effects from the toxicity of chemo, like neuropathy and bone and joint pain and osteopenia, extreme fatigue, chemo brain. These things are my daily struggles. And you know that with my current remission, I've been on a targeted treatment that's recently been approved by the FDA to lengthen time between reoccurrences. Of course, with its own set of side effects, threatening me with additional cancers like leukemia. But it works to target and destroy the current cancer. And I'll give you more on that in a moment. For those of you who have been with me for the long haul, you have seen how cancer has grabbed a hold, paralyzed me with fear at times, taken over and threatened to take me down for the count. And take me down, it does. I've seen what it's done to you guys. I know it, I see it. Ovarian cancer, when it's raging, has a mind of its own. It's sneaky and it's intelligent. And it learns how to stay alive and duplicate even when chemotherapy is attempting to destroy all the cells that it can in my body, good ones and bad ones. As you can imagine, I have a love-hate relationship with chemo. Impatiently, I wait for it to begin when my numbers begin creeping up, and I literally crave the toxicity of the drugs as they bring me hope. But with that toxicity comes the screaming that parallels the growth of the cancer. I've been hospitalized due to side effects. I've been wheelchair bound from extreme fatigue, too weak to get from the car to the infusion room. I've had daily infusions of IV pharmaceutical cocktails to get me through the hardest parts. I've fallen multiple times, once breaking my tibia, fibula, ankle, and toes, requiring a permanent metal rod from my knee to my ankle, and plates and screws in my ankle. And yes, I am wearing heels. I've had my shoulder put back together with screws from an older injury that intensified as my body weakened from chemo. I need to remember though, it's not our setbacks, but our comebacks that define us. My greatest wish is that the third time is the charm. I've gone through this battle 3 times. I had hopes that this targeted treatment I've been on for the last 1.5 years with this third remission would give me an extended break for many years to come. But the side effects recently, in the last couple weeks, have taken over. My bone marrow is depleted. My blood cells are not growing as they should any longer. And I'm neutropenic. Earlier this month, my favorite Dr. McCourt shared with me that the risk of taking, and I say this affectionately, not negatively, of course. She shared with me that the risk of taking the drug now outweighs the benefits of the drug. That's a head game. The drug can cause acute myeloid leukemia, so we'll be monitoring my blood counts for a while and just hope I can keep in remission, stay in remission. God, I hate cancer. And for me, it always comes back. For me, ovarian cancer is a chronic disease. I'm gonna have to live with this until I can't anymore. And like a revolving door, I'll just be in and out of treatment. I don't have the power over my disease to know when it's gonna grow faster than the drugs I've taken can control it. And I'm a realist. I accept the challenges presented to me, the uncertainties ahead of me, and the pain that's to be endured. With ovarian cancer, it was suggested to me to live in the present. I adhere to that every day, and it has helped me keep my sanity to do so. The never-ending mental and physical and emotional battle I fight has forced me to think in terms of minutes, hours, days, as I live in fear of the breakthrough cancer that drugs might not control. The look of helplessness in my husband and my son's eyes has brought me to my knees, knowing what my disease has put them through. Plans have been canceled, events rescheduled, and life has even had to come to a grinding halt at times is my disease has taken control of not just me, but my family and my friends. Ovarian cancer is not my disease, it's my family's disease. You all are here tonight because ovarian cancer has affected you in some way as well. And my words may bring up emotions that you've been keeping inside. It may bring back painful memories of your loved ones who've struggled and fought, sometimes conquered, and sometimes lost to the disease. For those of you here who are navigating the new journey of ovarian cancer, I want you to know that there's personal growth through these challenges. And there's so much strength and knowledge. Do not let it beat you, because you and I are stronger than we ever imagined. God performs miracles every minute of every day.
Yes, he does.
And you might be, or I might be, the recipient of one. We just don't know. I've been told that resilience is not the absence of pain or struggle, but the courage to continue despite it. And it's important to look for the beauty in the middle of this chaotic life with cancer. But I choose not to be permanently traumatized by fear. I want to be empowered by the present, the minute by minute and hour by hour and day to day existence that I live. Every one of us here is living with the repercussions of ovarian cancer. We all are facing this battle. We are a family of survivors and fighters and caregivers and supporters, right? And in the name of ovarian cancer, we've come together to inspire hope, to spread love, and to stand strong against this disease. With the shared experiences and strength we gain from each other comes a chance to make a difference and have an impact on the future of the disease. St. Louis Ovarian Cancer Awareness works tirelessly to raise awareness, to help fund research, to help financially and emotionally with survivors in need. Every one of you here are part of the SLOCA family, and your support may have come in the form of phone calls, driving to treatment, providing meals or prayers or visits, gifts of lotion, blankets, coloring books, and memorials, such as tattoos. I needed an excuse to get one. And yes, it's a teal ribbon. No gift has ever been too small. And on behalf of those survivors here, those living with the disease, those who are gone, but who are most assuredly alive in our memories, I thank you. From all of us Teal sisters, I thank you. Until there's a diagnostic tool to identify ovarian cancer, a concrete evidence-based way to prevent ovarian cancer, and a cure, which is as evasive as the day is long, we have to come together as a family, as a community, to keep supporting those who can make the unimaginable possible. Well, God is my go-to for a miracle. Realistically, each and every one of you is my hope. Thank you.